wanted to talk to you about your sailing career, in particular your ocean racing career. What drew you in?
You know, ocean racing is something that you can really take your passion and enjoy it and disconnect from the rest of the world. When you're out in the ocean, it's your boat, it's your crew, and it's telling jokes and having a good time. So, you know, I mean, ocean racing is just pretty special.
What is the first time you did the Annapolis to Newport race on your own boat?
On my own boat? That's a good question. I guess it would have been in 2002, I had a Beneteau 40.7. So we did the race in 2000, and in 2002 we did it on a Beneteau 40.7. So
what was your takeaway from your first Annapolis to Newport race? Because it kept you coming back.
What kept me coming back was just the race is an incredible race. I mean, A to N gives you every aspect of sailing. Gives you the Chesapeake Bay, gives you getting out of the bay, sometimes in the worst of conditions at dawn, sometimes at night when it's just blowing like mad. I mean, getting out of the bay is part of that race, and it's a big segment, and everybody forgets it's 120 miles or so down the bay before you turn around and start heading up to your destination. The ocean clearly gives you a really good ocean feel when you get out and have to stretch your legs, and looking at Montauk as your, you know, kind of point to then therefore get into Newport. But what a great race, and there's been lots of good times on that race. We won when we were on the Swan. We had an overall win victory, which was fun, but great race.
So when you go offshore, you find people that you trust. Has there been any crew that has kind of been with you over the long haul that you know you can rely on? Because that's important. When you go offshore, you want to be with people that you can trust, that you know can handle the boat.
You know, that's an interesting question. I think there was definitely early on, there was one individual, Drew Donalds, and I sailed an awful lot of miles together. And Drewby probably is someone that in the early days was someone that I sailed a lot with offshore. But I think as our sailing evolved, we started sailing with a lot of different people, and there's just been kind of normal crew that are with us in a segment of time, and those people tend to, you know, get trusted and come out with you. And there's been a cast of characters, I mean, you know, over the years of people that have come out and sailed with us.
Any particular memorable Annapolis to Newports, and we'll talk about the most recent one where you won a special award, but prior to that, any particularly memorable? You mentioned winning class honors aboard the Swan. Any others? Well, there probably been some pretty hairy races.
Well, I think the one race with Y2K was an upwind race. We were on a big Swan. That was actually a pretty cool race, and you know, I have a kind of a memory of that, trying to clear Montauk, and we had to switch down to a kind of a number. I think we went to a 3 or 4 and had to do a sail change, and it was rough. I actually was up on the foredeck helping out with the sail change. I lost my footing. I ended up on the outside of the boat holding on to the rails.
Goodness.
And I think a local guy, John Von Schwartz, and John Von grabbed me by the life jacket and said, "Kenny, I think it's better on this side of the boat," and picked me up and placed me on the inside of the boat. And forever, I will be in John Von's debt.
So you did start sailing with the boys as they got older. They're very excellent, outstanding sailors in their own right. Both were collegiate sailors, and Jennifer as well. How rewarding has that been to do offshore racing, which you love and have passion for, but with your family, and seeing your boys performing at a high level and helping the boat succeed?
Well, the boys have had a great opportunity to be, you know, Opti sailors as kids and go on to become collegiate sailors. The boys, just like Jen and I, have a passion for being out on the water and love sailing. So their participation is just the most rewarding thing that I think you can possibly imagine. So yeah, it's tremendous having the kids out there with us.
When did you become the owner of North Point Yacht Sales?
In a great year, 2007, right before the Great Recession. So yeah.
But over the years, you have routinely sailed boats that you also serve as a representative here in the Chesapeake area for this, your company is selling those boats, and you're able to show the potential customers the ability of these boats when you take them out ocean racing and win.
Yeah. Well, J-Boats has been a brand that we've represented. The business is actually represented a long time before 2007. So Paul Mikulski was the J-Boat dealer when I bought the business from Paul. And I think we've tried to always stick with, promoting the brand and getting that out in front of people. And J-Boats makes an awesome boat for offshore racing. So yeah, it's been a great run, and it's been a lot of fun promoting and doing what we love to do, is sail and share that with our customers. So it's fun.
And we're sitting aboard Kenny's latest platform, Dark Storm, and you had a very special Annapolis to Newport race 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Can you talk about the race in general? It was a very rough race. Not a lot of people finished. You were among them. Kind of talk about that race in particular.
It's funny. People talk about how the race is rough. There was a segment that was rough. Coming out of the bay was really rough.
Right.
But there was also some points of the trip that we were actually becalmed, and we had some major decisions to make. I think at the time, we had some really big boats out to the west of us that we were actually out in front of us, and we were nervous about who was going out to the east and where we had to be, and we were kind of in the middle. Right. We had to, we kept having this major discussion. Should we go over this way? Should we go here? And I said, guys, we just need to keep making the boat go forward as best we can. And we made the best play that we could because we made the middle work, and we got out in front of everybody, and we got a big shift, and we were able to come across and sail in on a reach right into Newport, which was just amazing and a lot of fun. And it was big breeze at the finish too, so it was fun.
And how special is it? It never gets old. As long as you've been doing ocean racing, it never gets old to have a great trip like that that results in victory.
It's what makes you come back to the sport, right? I mean, I hate to say it, but winning's fun for sure. There's no doubt. But there's a lot more to the sport than just winning. It's participation, it's being able to get out with your friends, and hopefully we can get more people to come out and enjoy the sport and enjoy the Annapolis to Newport race.
So at the prize giving ceremony, you received a very special award, the Jim Alsop Seafarer Trophy. It's given in recognition of best combined performance in the Newport to Bermuda race, which you had done the year before, and then the Annapolis to Newport race. How great was that moment at Waite's Wharf when you were presented with that Jim Alsop Seafarers Trophy?
A tremendously great trophy and a great award to win. Jim Alsop and his family have meant a lot to us for many, many years. Jim in the sailing community has done a just tremendous job, kind of promoting things. So Jimmy meant a lot, the family means a lot, and the award was just awesome to win. And it kind of upsets me that we didn't do the Newport to Bermuda race this past year.
So you could defend?
Yeah, we could defend that trophy, but I guess it's going to be up to someone else to win that. But what a tremendous opportunity to do that, and it was really nice to have that award. And Annapolis Newport has an awful lot of history and a Corinthian spirit, and I think Jimmy and his family represents that.
Absolutely. You just won the Governor's Cup. You received the Waldschmidt Trophy for top performance in the most competitive class. You sailed a great race. I talked to you and wrote an article about it. Can you talk about the Governor's Cup, and also how perhaps people that are considering ocean racing, considering doing an Annapolis to Newport, they can test themselves, prep themselves by doing a race like the Governor's Cup, which takes you pretty long ways down the bay, 70 nautical miles. It's overnight. It mimics ocean racing quite a bit.
Yeah, the Governor's Cup has been a race that we've enjoyed doing, a bunch of times. It's a really fun race because it is an overnight race. It can have a lot of different, it can have thunderstorms, it can have big breeze, it can have light breeze. So you really never know what you're going to get. But as an intro to getting your team together, you don't do watch systems and things that you would do in the ocean, but you certainly have to work together as a team. And it's a great primer for getting your, more distant racing opportunity. And distance racing is really what we're talking about. Once you start getting more and more distance racing under your belt, you start realizing that your navigator is really important. You know, I mean, making sure that you have good strategy, making sure that your boat preparation is right, making sure that the people that on board are the right group of people that have the right chemistry. Chemistry and sailing and having things go your way, sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, but overall, if you have all the building blocks there, you're going to be more successful. And we've really worked over the years hard to make distance racing part of our decision on boat choices that we've made, crew, and really lifestyle, because we enjoy kind of getting to a destination and having a distance race, and it's a lot of fun. Usually involves a delivery back, and it's more than just getting out and racing. It's kind of the whole package you get when you go offshore and distance racing. So yeah, it's cool.
We're about 9 months out from the 2025 Annapolis to Newport race. Are you already thinking about it, starting to put a plan together, making a list of who might crew, making a little list about boat prep and some of the things? Are you already into this process? Because it is a long lead up.
Yeah, we've yes, definitely started to do that. Our navigator has been someone that's already a mark on his calendar to say, Paulie, you need to be here.
Right.
So yeah, for sure, we're working on trying to get the list together, and there's a lot of people that want to do the race. We're trying to figure out exactly who comes and how that gets put together. A lot of it may decide, some crew may be a decision about how many of my, if my boys are going to be on board the boat or not. So that's a lot of times has a mixture of who we bring. So.
A big push by the Annapolis Yacht Club in recent years for the Annapolis to Newport was to get what we call racer cruiser boats, and a lot of times there's some of the boats that you deal with out of North Point Yacht Sales, and they are great platforms for doing this race. And the Yacht Club has had tremendous success with increasing that type of participation. You have to applaud that, I would imagine, being in your position.
I think it's really imperative that for sailboat racing in general to be successful and really have legs in the future is that we're completely inclusive to a lot of different sailors, and really promote that. Years ago, I did a Chicago Mac race, and I noticed how successful they were with all the different classes and many cruising classes that they had. And it's awesome to get out and see all that level of participation. Guess what? The more people participate, the more people that will be battling for top line honors or position, or it's, again, promoting the sport is really important, and the Annapolis Newport race is a great way to kind of get people involved in a coastal race. It still has all the thrill of being in the ocean, because you are in the ocean a good bit of the trip, but it's a tremendous opportunity to still be a relatively safer race. I should say that you're within distance of Coast Guard and kind of getting rescued if need be, but it's just a fun race. So I hope that we can get more participation for the Annapolis Newport race this next year.
So last one for me, obviously what part of it makes this a great race, a time-honored tradition, is it connects two of the greatest seaports in all of the world, really.
Right.
Annapolis and Newport. A great send-off party for all the crews and all the sailors at Annapolis Yacht Club on this end, and then on the back end you got Newport, and you spend a few days there. Is there any go-to tradition for the Comerford family when you win aboard Dark Storm in the last race? How do you celebrate?
Oh, that's easy. We usually have a pretty good time. Too good of a time at times, Getting a dark and stormy is kind of an infamous, thing that we like to do. But just having a good time and being up in Newport is awesome. I mean, leaving the sailing capital of the world right here in Annapolis and then heading to Newport is always, again, like you said, connecting two great towns, and what an opportunity to really have people from New England come down here and share Annapolis with them, and for us to go up to Newport. So, great stuff.
Thanks, Kenny.
Ken Comerford of North Point racing with a lot of his employees and family, crossing the finish line this evening.